Chapter 1 Runaway Jew. Eric Marchant wasn't the wealthiest Jewish boy in Eastleigh, Hampshire, England, nor was he the poorest, but his parents, Charlene and David, wished they could be the former. His face had a sharp blend of beauty and ugliness, and the structure of his body was rail thin, making it easier for him to squeeze into tight spaces. Like most Jews, he was raven-haired and his eyes were spring green, which perhaps had something to do with the fact that he was born on the beginning of the Shavuot. He also had thin brows and fair skin that rivaled the other Jews around his age. His 13th birthday, his bar mitzvah, was to be held on May 14, 1912, and he couldn't wait to become a man at last. Once he was a man, he would become accountable for his own actions, and he could do as he pleased without his parents guiding him. But from where he was standing, or sitting as he was resting on the grass of his lawn on the 6th of April, they were still making every choice for him. Perhaps being an only child meant they had to treat him like a prince. Anyway, after discussing his woes to Mr. Nextdoor's pet St. Bernard Howard, Eric left the yard to Monk's Brook where he and his schoolmates would go and throw stones into the river. Pooh Sticks wasn't invented yet, so they did other games, like seeing if one leaf could make it into the part of the stream that ran next to the park. Sometimes they danced to klezmer music on their days off, and sometimes they could play with their tops and wooden soldiers, pretending they were in the Boer War. Little would they have suspected that an even larger war would be coming in the next 2 years. But there was no one there, so he was all alone. He threw one pebble and then grabbed 2 more into his right hand. He threw them again, and all they did was plop into the water. He threw a third, which skipped 2 times before it sank. He sat down on the grass, with nothing to do but stare up at the sky and watch the clouds roll in from the industrial-laden ports of Belfast. A toad croaked nearby, and before he could investigate matters further, 3 of his schoolmates appeared with a magazine in their hands. "Have you read about the new ship that's leaving Southampton in 4 days?" asked Mauve Spielman, whose father was a talented musician. "No," Eric sighed, not caring much at all. "All I can think of is by bar mitzvah." "Worried you're not going to get enough presents?" Warren Amschel tried to be sympathetic. "It's my parents. They still think I'm not ready to be responsible. The slightest mention of me trying to be independent, and they act like mashuganas. Maybe this ad will cheer you up. I know your grandpa got on the last one." The second after he said this, Murray Blau opened the middle page of the Illustrated London News to reveal the illustration of an ocean liner with 4 funnels sailing across the sea. The new White Star Line, RMS Titanic, the largest vessel in the world, is not only in size, but also in the luxury of her appointments that the Titanic takes first place among the big steamers of the world. By the provision of Vinola Auto Toilet Soap for her first-class passengers, the Titanic also leads as offering a higher standard of toilet luxury and comfort at sea. Vinola Auto Toilet Soap is perfect for sensitive skins and delicate complexions. Its rich cleansing lather soothes and softens, and for regular toilet use, there is no soap more delightful. Seeing the advertisement made Eric think of his grandfather Schemmel, who had relocated to New York City about a year ago on that very ship to expand his business. As a matter of fact, the Titanic was said to be a foot or 2 longer than the Olympic, having a greater amount of publicity compared to the former. Some of the foreigners even boasted about progress, like it was their god and technology was the new religion. Mauve took a long look at the advertisement and snickered. "Wouldn't I love to have a soap like that for my bathroom? Then I'd smell even lovelier." "If you do," said Murray, "don't get any of it on me. It's probably girl soap." "Even boys can use it too," argued Orrin. "How many times has your mother scrubbed you to death?" 2 times a day." Eric could not have cared any less about the squabbling matters of his school or her friends. But now, on his mind, he was looking forward to a transatlantic voyage on either one of the 2 largest vessels in the world. If you want to know what happens next, I'd strongly recommend reading the book. And buying it. But go ahead. It's your choice.